Pregame.com.
Sunday, NBA primetime on ABC. We've got Chicago at New York. Going to the Big Apple. He's Vegas runner. I'm Marco D'Angelo. We're going to break this one down for you. VR, simply put, Chicago. Derrick Rose has missed several games. We're taping on Thursday. Both of these teams play on Thursday night, so they're each going to have a result that's going to affect the line. We're projecting this line to come out Chicago -3. There's a lot of factors in that. What happens in tonight's game, and does Derrick Rose make a return? And you got more on that. What's the story?
The latest I heard is that he's going to warm up tonight. If he feels as good as he's felt this entire couple days, he's going to go. If he doesn't feel 100%, because he's an aggressive player, remember, he's not the kind that could go in and not go all out. So if he feels any, resistance to not being able to go all out, they're going to hold him off, and he's going to play in this game. So regardless, unless he plays tonight and gets hurt, it re-aggravates his injury, he will play against the Knicks. And I think because of that, you're going to see this line be even more inflated. I made my true line Knicks Chicago -1. I agreed with your fair line of Chicago -3. I think we may even see this go a little higher once it's announced that he's in the lineup. You see that on your line screen. Yeah. Once it comes out, you start seeing it start to climb.
If he comes back on Thursday, again, we're taping Thursday, so if he comes back tonight and plays and Chicago blows Boston out, that would affect the line on Sunday. Without Derrick Rose, this team's been 2-3 the last 5. They're still a good ball club, but they're not that same ball club without him in the lineup. New York plays in Orlando on Thursday night. New York's 1-2 the last 3 games. New York, this team, they got to keep refining and rediscovering their identity because, let's think about it. This team was lost. They had no point guard. Then we had Linsanity go off. The team went on
a week, 2 weeks.
But they went on a tremendous run. Then what happens? Carmelo Anthony comes back, and it coincides that the schedule got a little tougher too, and they started losing again. And then what happens? The coach gets fired. So now you got to transition again. You got a new coach. They go on another streak. Now you got Stoudemire hurt, and what happens? Linsanity's 15 minutes of fame that lasted about 45 minutes is done because he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. They got to rediscover themselves. And when you don't have Stoudemire and you don't have Jeremy Lin, they're back to they don't really have a productive point guard.
No.
And they're still doing okay, but it seems to me, and I know you're like the Knicks here, the only thing that bothers me right now is it seems like they got to work too much for their offense, and it centers too much around Carmelo.
No, I agree. And the one thing I got to credit the Knicks with is with even all that you just said, and that's a lot to handle for one team in a shortened season.
Yeah, that's another factor.
They're still a 500 ball club. Mm-hmm. They're still 27-27, and more importantly, they find themselves only 3.5 games behind Boston for first place, and the Sixers are only 2 ahead of them. So here's a team that had to deal with all of that, and yet they look at the standings, and they're right there, not just for the playoffs, but they could actually win this division if they could go on a run over these final weeks. So I think you're looking at a motivated club. And bottom line with Chicago is this. Even though lately they haven't played as well without Rose, this team has still been able to gain a huge lead in the standings. No one's going to catch them in their division. They're 8.5 ahead of Indiana. But you look in the conference, they're 3.5 games ahead of the Heat. They probably won't get caught. And then in the entire NBA, they're 2.5 ahead of the Thunder. So it looks to me like Chicago, the road's going to travel to Chicago to crown this year's NBA champion. So they got to be feeling pretty good about themselves. But I think throwing Rose in right now may not be the best thing for this team. It's the best thing long term, but now all of a sudden, all these role players that have been getting the job done, they're those bench players, and they do a great job of distributing the minutes equally amongst their bench. It's not 1 or 2 guys that get 20 minutes. It's 5 guys that get 11 minutes each, and I like that. But now all of a sudden, these guys that were contributing, that felt like we're here to play, now all of a sudden, your stud's back. You're going to hesitate before you shoot. You're going to make that extra pass. You're going to look to Rose. Going into New York, where it's a tough place to play, this is not a place where you're going to make money betting against the Knicks. They're 18-10 at home straight up. They're 17-11 against the spread. And here you're going to catch them as a home dog. That's a recipe for profit. I like the Knicks in this spot, brother. And I like the under as well. The first time these two teams played, just a couple weeks back, they scored 203 points. It went over 198.5, okay? But Rose, Lynn, and Stoudemire together contributed 67 points. Where's that 67 going to be made up? Yeah. Not by what's out on the court come this Sunday.
Exactly.
Even Rose, I don't see him putting 32 like he did last time. So I like the under. I think the Knicks in a low-scoring game get it done at the end. Steve Novak hits that 3. The place goes crazy, sparks the Garden, and the Knicks get the money.
Carmelo's not taking the last shot?
Novak. I love when he comes in. The guy hits a 3 and the place erupts.
I agree with you with the low-scoring game. I think this will be a low-scoring game. And I'll tell you where I think I would like your side even more is if Derrick Rose doesn't play on Thursday, his first game back on Sunday.
I wish. I'm hoping he don't play tonight.
If that happens, there's going to be the over-adjustment in the line because everybody's going to, Rose is back, and they're going to jump on that. And first game back, he's going to be rusty. Let's face it.
And the team's not going to know what to do. They haven't practiced with him but a little bit.
Yeah, it's better for you if he doesn't play on Thursday.
I'm hoping he don't. I really do.
Personally, if I'm management, and let's face it, if Chicago's going to go anywhere in the playoffs, they have to have a healthy Derrick Rose.
Give them 3 more days off, man.
This team...
Especially who they play tonight, Boston?
Yeah.
That's a tough defense. You don't want to put him in against a physical team like that.
Exactly. And with the Knicks, one thing I didn't mention is this is the beginning of a home-and-home series. They come back and play the next game. They go to Chicago.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, handicapping, those always kind of threw me off a little bit, those home and homes, because, you worry about, one team doesn't want to embarrass the other team too much on the first end of it because they got to come right back and play sometimes. But straight handicap, it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I can see where you're coming from on New York, and this is one of those ones that I want to see the Thursday results before I saddle up on a side big. But if you're Chicago, why not rest this guy to like the last week of the regular season and get him in that last week, get his legs tight, get his timing back, and go. As long as they can maintain that lead, like you say.
That's what they want. They want home court.
Right. They need home court against Miami.
You're not going to Miami and winning the series.
No. So, I agree with you. I'm on the fence, but this is your video.
My best bet.
So go ahead.
New York Knicks and the under, not just the side, but the under as well. I really think they get it done. The inflated price is perfect. I mean, that just adds more value to the side that already thought had value. And again, what's going to happen when these role players that were contributing, all of a sudden, their stars back? And even for guys like, Boozer and Dang, and now all of a sudden, a guy's coming in that's the league MVP more or less, and you could now take a break a little because these guys have been killing themselves to get to where they are. And I don't think Rose is ready yet to pick up the slack. And here come the Knicks. TV game on Sunday, I believe.
It's
at the Garden. They've been profitable there all year. I like them, man. Even without Lynn, even without Stoudemire, I think Carmelo and company get it done. And like I said, Steve Novak hits the 3. They win the game.
All right, so you have both the Knicks and the under. But the Knicks are your best bet.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, there you have it. Vegas Runner has spoken, not once, but twice. He says take the Knicks and the under, and he's taking the Knicks as his video best bet. That's going to wrap it up for this week on the videos. We'll be back next week. Myself, VR, Brian Leonard, Steven Nover, Scott Spreitzer. We'll have videos for you all week long. Stay tuned to pregame.tv. That's where you'll find it all. Check it out. I'll see you guys next week.